Howdy gang, Jeff from G's Gear here, knocking out a few demos today down in the shop of some guitars that we're about to add to the pile of instruments at G's Gear at reverb.com. And today we've got a little taste of summertime. I love this little guitar. This is really cool. This is a Harmony H167 made in 1969 in the spring-summer period of 1969. It's in excellent condition. It's just had a full neck reset, and I think it's a really wonderful little guitar. For me, this would be like a great travel guitar. It's a guitar that's not going to break the bank, and you can take it with you just about anywhere. And it might look a little bit familiar, right? What's with that Fender headstock over here? You know, it looks something like a Fender Malibu, or I think maybe with the old Fender Newporter, the 60s vintage guitars. An OM style body, 15-inch bout here, with the I think Harmony used to refer to these as the hockey stick head, you know, with the Fender style headstock. If it looks familiar, it's because Harmony made a lot of guitars for Fender, among other companies. A lot of the acoustic guitars that Fender sold in the 1960s, they didn't make. They were really an electric guitar company, and as they branched out, they contracted out with companies like Harmony to make many of the guitars. So a lot of the iconic Harmony guitars that you see us advertise here often, things like the Harmony Sovereigns and whatnot, Harmony would make those and put a different kind of a overlay on the peg head for Fender, and then Fender would sell them. So this one doesn't really have an exact duplicate in Fender. It's got some guitars at Fender that are similar to this. You'll see, instead of the pinless bridge, we have a pin bridge this time. The bridge looks similar to what a lot of the old Fender acoustics had. Overall shape of the body, but the woods are a little bit different. Harmony used all solid tone woods. This one has a solid spruce top, but it's solid birch back and sides. And it's done in sort of a, I guess we'll call this a cherry sunburst. It's kind of a reddish sunburst. And there's a little bit of damage here on the shoulder, on the bass side of the guitar, and that's about all that there exists for damage on the instrument. It's really a nice playing guitar. It's got a very comfortable action, 3/32 of an inch on low E, and 5/64, which is just a little bit above a 16th on the high E. And yeah, nice straight neck, Brazilian rosewood neck. Fretboard, I should say, Brazilian rosewood bridge. We did a new bone saddle for it when we did the neck reset. This neck was off, shimmed, put back on. What else did we do? We leveled and crowned the frets, cleaned the tuners, lubricated them, reattached the pick guard, which was floating around loose in the case, and made a new heel cap for it. The heel cap had disintegrated, so we put a new heel cap on. But other than that, this guitar was in really nice shape to begin with. And it's a good sounding acoustic guitar. Has a rather crisp tonality about it, which I think comes from the hardness of the birch. It's got tremendous sustain. Just goes on and on and on. It makes it a great strumming guitar, great kind of folk or rock and roll instrument. guitar to play. I think this would be, like I say, a great guitar for traveling. Throw it in the case, take it to the beach, take it to the mountains. It's not like you're taking a vintage Gibson or a vintage Martin somewhere. This one's going to be listed at $725, so it's not really going to break the bank. And if you wanted, you could outfit this with something like a Mojo Tone quiet coil pickup, and this thing would be ready to plug in and go at an open mic or on the concert stage or in the studio. It's got a really cool vibe and a cool sound to it. Not too much else to say about it. Neck's straight, action's great, relief is quite low, body's in great shape. That one scuff mark on the shoulder, it's just cosmetic. There are a couple of cosmetic dings on the back. I think someone had a decal on here at one point, left a little bit of a mark, but the back overall is really clean. From any sort of viewing distance, the guitar looks wonderful. No chips, no dings, no dents, no cracks, no splits, no open seams. Tuners work smoothly. They're old tuners. Sometimes you got to really bend them a little bit. But the trick with these, for those who don't know, these old open back tuners that you see in a lot of the guitars from the 60s, all you really need to do, if they're stiff, is put a screwdriver into the slot of the screw back here and just crack it. I mean, you want to move that thing a 64th of an inch. That's all it takes, and then it loosens right up. And it's just sometimes grit gets caught underneath the gear mechanism. The only other thing I would say, and I should probably start saying this about all acoustic guitars, is that the action is something that can change over the course of the year. Acoustic guitars, it's wood, it's organic material. And as the seasons change, particularly if you live, as I do, in the Northeast, where we have warm, humid summers and cold winters, the guitar can change over the course of the year. It can swell up a little bit in the summertime, which can cause that action to come up. And then you say, "Oh, I've got to lower the saddle." I would urge you to not sand down the saddle. Get a different saddle made, and that's your summer saddle. Put this one in a pill bottle and put it in the compartment of the guitar case. That's your winter saddle at that point. You may go the other way around. You may find that in the winter time your action's too low, and you need to make a saddle that's a little higher. It's for the same reason. It's just that the body of the guitar changes over the course of the year. Most acoustic guitar players, and I've got in my own collection, I've got probably 10 or 12 really great acoustic guitars. Gibsons, Gretsches, not Gretsch acoustics so much, but Gibsons, Guilds, Loudons, arch tops, flat tops, whatever. With the flat tops, I have multiple saddles for each guitar, and that just allows me to adjust it to the seasonal changes. That's normal. That's just a normal thing. But it's set up beautifully right now, and plays like a dream. What else is there? We'll play something maybe fingerstyle here, if we can think of something fingerstyle to play. And we'll take us out that way. It's at G's Gear at reverb.com. And we always have a lot of cool guitars there, mostly American-made guitars. Sometimes something funky from Japan, and a lot of 60s and 50s vintage instruments. So check us out. Maybe we'll set you up with the next great guitar. All right, gang. We'll see you on the flip side.